Welcome to Patcher's 53 on the road. Today I'm drinking Charles Jouguet Les Petites Roches 2009 with Rick Olivarez. Cheers. Cheers. So Rick, come all the way to United States. So your first Samoa last year?
The first one was last year.
So what was the impression and why are you keep coming now already?
Well, the first impression was, I had heard about it and read about it and seen videos on YouTube and whatnot, but to actually be here and just be surrounded by people, and they're so friendly, and I just made friends immediately. You know, people staying by me and immediately started jamming with people, and I thought, wow, there's nothing like this. It's really true. There's nothing like this. Mm. And then, of course, you know, right across the way from me was a couple. Still this year, the man's from England and his wife's from America. So a guitar maker, Kili Nonis, introduced us, and he said, "Oh yeah, she's from America." So we started talking, and they're just wonderful people, and we would have breakfast together and so forth. And I remember one day we were just having a beer or something, and I looked over. I said, "That looks like Angelo DeBar. Is that Angelo?" I said, "That is. Let's go find out." Well, sure enough, it was, and I thought, wow, it's great to be able to jam with people, you know, from all these other countries, but to be 2 feet away from Angelo DeBar while he's just, you know, tearing it up at somebody else's tent. It was incredible. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, later on, Fapi, the great Fapi Lafferten, mm-hmm. was right over at Titi Winterstein's, Titi Bamberger, yeah, at his tent, playing beautifully. And you know, I just thought, wow, this is just incredible. I mean, these guys are legendary. They're the masters of this music, and they're right here. So, you know, it's just a once in a lifetime sort of experience. Wow, once a year. Yeah, right, exactly. So it's nice to be able to see all this thing just anywhere, you know. And one of the coolest things was, I think it was last morning I was here. I woke up around 9 in the morning to the sound of this beautiful violin playing. I said, wow. And it was Cha Limburger.
With Lolo, yeah.
He was just practicing, sitting on a little stump, just sort of warming up at like 9 in the morning. I thought, wow, what a beautiful way to wake up. It was just incredible. Yeah. So, yeah. So for my first experience, I couldn't imagine it, you know, how it could be any better. It was unbelievable. This year, it's great. It's, you know, except for the rain. But what can we do about this?
It's supposed to stop. So.
Yeah, well, we're good now. It's warm. But, you know, so far, I mean, you know, I had a wonderful time jamming with some Manouche in the caravan over there last night. We played for a long, long time. And
the German.
Yeah. And I don't know I never did get their names, but they're wonderful guys, you know. And of course, now this friendship's established. And so I had brought a bottle of bourbon from America, and I thought, well, this is a great time it's a great time to share it with. So this one guy, I poured him a drink, and okay. So I saw him today. He was actually talking to Fapi, and he stopped and looked at me and said, "Hey, whiskey man." So yeah, there you go. So this kind of stuff is priceless.
And I bring the wine.
Yeah, you bring the wine. Well, the bourbon's gone now.
Tell us a bit about where you're from in the U.S., about your band. So you had a CD, a year and a bit ago?
Mm-hmm. A couple years ago.
Working on a new one very soon?
We are working on a new one, yeah. Well, I'm originally from the West Coast, from California, but I've sort of gradually worked my way eastward. But I've been in Virginia, in Central Virginia, for the last 16, 17 years now, sort of in the mountains. And it's wonderful there. It's sort of being a wine aficionado, you would appreciate this. We have
there's some nice winery.
There are, yeah.
I was surprised. I tried a couple of wine for the first time, and quite surprising.
Yeah, I meant to bring you a bottle, but you know, bringing liquids on the plane these days. I guess now you have to come to Virginia, and I'll show you all about it. But yeah, we have there are 2 vineyards like a half a mile equidistant from my house on this mountain. So it's really nice. But before I lived in Virginia, I lived in New Orleans, and I studied with a guy, Tony Green.
Oh yeah.
And you've met Tony.
Yeah. He's now in Venice.
He is in Venice. Yeah, he's in Venice more than he's in New Orleans. But you know, I listened to when I was in high school. I listened to rock and roll, of course, you know, but a lot of my favorite rock players always mentioned Django Reinhardt, and they said, "Oh, Django." And my dad is a professional, was a professional musician when he was younger, and he played saxophone. But when I started playing guitar, he said, "Well, these rock guys are cool, but you need to check out Django Reinhardt." And I said, "What is that?" I thought it was some kind of lotion or something. I don't know. So he said, "Oh, he told me about it. He only had played with 2 fingers." I said, "Well, that's not possible." Anyway, so I checked it out, and I said, "I can't believe this. This is incredible music." So I listened to Django in high school and when I was older, out of high school and stuff. But when I started studying with Tony Green in New Orleans, this was like 92, 93, and he was the one that really educated me about more of the folklore and also lesser known players. And of course through him I discovered, or he showed me about Fapi Lafontaine.
Of course, he's a big fan.
Yeah. And
Wazo.
And once I heard Wazo, I said, I love Django. Django's my number one. But when I heard what Wazo was doing then, and now the things that Koen de Cotter, the stuff he does with his son, his family, it's just such beautiful music. And I thought, wow, you can retain the elements of Django's music in this and also create something and write music and
not
try to do something. Exactly, because in my opinion, the world doesn't need another album with some guy playing minor swing or whatever the popular songs are. That stuff's fine, but it's better to create, because in the end that's what Django did. He didn't just keep trotting out the same old things. He was always creating. And so Wazo and Koen and Fapi are tremendous inspiration. So.
I very like your first CD, Adieu Belleville. Bienville.
Yeah.
And
thank you.
So you're going back to America and be starting recording?
Yeah, as soon as not quite when I just get off the plane, but pretty soon after that we're going to start recording a new album. I've got at this point about 6 originals that so at this point some of them we've been playing for a while now, and they're ready to go, and I'm really anxious to go in there and start recording again, which is hopefully a good sign. That's how I felt with the last album. I couldn't wait to get in the studio and start to put these
You're
things
ready,
down.
you got material, and
So we're heavier on more original things this year, so
nice.
I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
Thanks for your time, Rick.
Absolutely, thank you.
Like I always say, keep drinking good wine.
That's my aim.
And keep listening to good gypsy jazz.
Yeah.